Uh, we are going to go now to Stu Foster. Stu, if you could begin to unmute yourself and turn your camera on. Stu is Deputy Political Director of the Michigan Republican Party. He's going to talk to us for 5 minutes about poll challengers, party attorneys, party training, and party credentials. So those are tools to use for election day operations, EDO. So Stu, do we have you?
I believe so. Can you hear me?
Hear you, see you. Go right ahead. 5 minutes.
All right, great. Much of what was talked about, Marion and Rob have already kind of addressed. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate some of the same points that they said, but more from a practical standpoint. First of all, thank you, Linda, for inviting me to participate. You're always a wonderful friend, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Very quickly, this is from my perspective, this is a very, very practical, educational thing that I want to talk about, where ultimately where the rubber hits the road, if you will. There's several different opportunities to help on election day. Again, you reach out to Linda, the MCU, to determine if you want to help out. You can reach out to Marion as well. Thank you, Marion, very, very much for all the hard work you're putting in, especially in terms of the absentee ballot count boards. Basically, there are about, well, just shy of like 5,000 precincts in the state of Michigan. We are not going to be able to cover every single precinct. The high water mark that we've had in the past in terms of poll challengers is roughly, I would say 1,500. That does not include the absentee ballot count boards. And then it goes beyond COBO. We have absentee ballot count boards across the state of Michigan that we have to prepare for. So first and foremost, I'm asking everybody to take a day off on election day. Plan on it. I'm assuming everybody's going to be back at work at that point in time. The idea is that we need to get as many people in the field all day as much as humanly possible. All right. The organization that I work for, the party, are the ones that can credential people to go into into polling locations as challengers. We will do full-on trainings, as Marion addressed, for poll challengers. Those are actually people in the polling locations themselves. The people to go in, it's a separate training for absentee ballot count boards. They are still qualified as poll challengers. And also attorneys as well. For those that know attorneys in the field, basically we have attorneys both in our command center as well as people in the field that can go to different areas. One side note on this whole thing, one thing that we have to absolutely make sure that we are clear on is that once the polling locations start to wind down, we need people to go into certain communities to make sure that the polling locations are closing down at 8 o'clock at night. Basically, this is I try to tell people that this is probably the best way to explain it is it's like a week of football, right? The whole week we are preparing, we're going through our practice, we're getting ready for game day on Saturday and or Sunday. We are in that preparation mode right now, even as we speak. Election day is game day. It's too late once we get to game day. We need to do the preparation now. So please consider taking the day off work. Invite all your friends. We talk about, Brian talked about your sphere. Dawn talked about your spheres of influence. Reach out to those people. I can't overestimate the fact that with the amount of precincts that we have in the state of Michigan, and with the amount of absentee ballot count boards, that it's the full court press now. please, please, please take the day off. I would show you my slides. I'm a little nervous because of the logo on the slide. So I'm not going to do that, but I can get you our training materials in person. Again, ultimately, I'm nervous about distributing credentials without somebody going through a polling location. One thing that we need to be very clear on, or very careful on, is that the other side is observing us. So please, please, please go through the training before you get a credential and go into either a polling location and or an absentee ballot count board. Again, Marion mentioned this. You guys are the front line. You guys are the front line, and I always equate this, and maybe some folks might disagree on this point, but again, going back to my football analogy, EDO is like a field goal in a football game, right? It's not going to be the silver bullet, right? It's not gonna give any candidate 10 points or whatever. The main job for us is to secure or make sure that we're securing ballot integrity on election day, and ultimately this could make the difference in a you don't want to give extra votes off to the other side. So I guess I can't take any questions right now. But if anybody, I can put my phone number in the chat right here so people can call me, and I'll answer any questions. I'm working closely with Linda. I'm working closely with Marion, and so I appreciate the time. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Stu.